With so much focus on keeping ourselves and our loved ones safe and healthy, it's easy to forget that most of us are going to experience things like allergies, colds, possibly even the flu. So, reminding you, proper hydration is crucial for all of these things. Remember, even slight dehydration can make you feel like you're getting sick, and none of us need that anxiety right now, that's for sure. That's where Hydralyte comes in. Longtime fans will remember my obsession with Hydralyte, which is simply the best oral rehydration product I've tried. I'm even more excited to introduce their brand new single-serve powder sticks. Simply pour one powder stick into a glass of water. They recommend 7 ounces. The powder dissolves almost instantly, creating the perfect balance of sodium, glucose, and water. Delivers up to 4 times the electrolytes of your typical sports drink. The other great news about Hydralyte's new powder sticks, they're 100% all natural. No artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. They're available in flavors like orange and lemonade, and they taste great. Hydration is crucial, and Hydralyte is fastest and easiest way to stay ahead of it. Get your supply of Hydralyte powder sticks now at hydralyte.com/DRDREW. Again, that's HYDRALYTE.com/DRDREW, and then use that code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Drew.
Hey everybody, how's the sound here? We're in kind of a different little setup here, and sorry we're late and
Late for what?
for the stream.
We didn't even say we were doing it.
We did. We actually said we would do it on Sunday, but we're late. We're doing it on Monday.
Oh.
Can you guys hear me okay? Just checking the sound.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I don't know, let me try.
Awful sound, Joe said.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, what's wrong with it?
Oh, good sound, Rebecca said. Okay, so let me,
No, just leave it for a second.
okay, there you go.
All right, see what
Let me just move it a little nearer. It should help things a little bit.
People
Tommy,
like to mess with us and say it's awful, making me sweat.
sounds like I'm in a tin can or a cave.
Yeah,
Different,
we're at the beach, so.
different people saying the sound is not good. So
Okay, let me see what.
hold on, we're gonna try to figure that out.
Start talking, I'll figure it out.
So, if I put, Andrew's suggesting I just put headphones on and use the computer. Because the mic is not
Oh.
echoey, tinny, cave-like, all that stuff. How about if I get
Hold on
close?
a second.
Just a question. If I
How
get
about you
close,
turn the sound down?
how about if I get close like this? Is it better? And just turn the sound down.
Turn the game, set it down. I know what to do.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on this way.
Hold on.
Okay, how's that?
And then a little closer. How's that, guys? Better? Is that
It's gonna
better?
take a minute for them to.
We got to figure this out. So,
There's a lag, so.
huge hypocrite, thank you. But let me know if this is fair. We want to get the sound right. So, I have to do Fox 11 from here in a few minutes.
Well, I had it on both sides.
That's fine though. Anyway, what's going on here? We got a nice big lockdown in California that's highly arbitrary. That mic is not working, they're saying. No change. But we are in the middle of arbitrary lockdowns, including playgrounds. For some reason, playgrounds have been salons, and all in the name of, quote, science. And yet, if anybody knows any possible publications that show that a salon, the only publication I know is where there was a salon where 2 women with COVID wore masks for a week and did not transmit to anyone. But tell me if you know of any publications, any scientific data that shows that salons or playgrounds are a place where COVID is transmitted. They, after requiring restaurants to develop these very elaborate outdoor situations that they themselves specified, the counties then closed everybody down, and then the state closed everybody down. Now, what's happening is the sheriffs are refusing to enforce this. Rather than being, they really, I feel terrible for these law enforcement guys. They are literally going on the record saying this was not our job, this is not what we're hired to do. We are here to combat crime. And are the average citizen trying to make a living or trying to eat a meal is not somebody committing a crime. Andrew, a big vaccine summit tomorrow at the White House. Is that about distribution, I'm hoping? And if I'll tell you what I've done. Yeah, Tom Cigar, you were absolutely correct about that. I have signed up for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In fact, Susan, I signed you up for it. You are now good to go. And I sent you the clinic in West Hollywood where you can get the vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is getting very aggressively tested. I talked to another colleague of mine the day after he had the vaccine, he had the fever and the whole thing, so he clearly got the vaccine. And it's a one-timer. It's not a two-timer like these other vaccines. So I'm going to try to get the Pfizer vaccine because I'm a healthcare provider, so I should be in the first block. But Susan is not so in any risk category, so she wouldn't get it till maybe April and May. So I have signed her up for a Johnson & Johnson vaccine phase 3 trial, which I recommend for everybody. How's the sound now? No?
It's pretty echoey.
Pretty echoey. Is there a gain?
Hold on.
Distribution is going to be a problem. I'm not sure about that. I think it's going to be through the
I'm gonna change.
through the hospitals. Joe, it's weird, Joe. If you sign up on the website, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine website I signed up on, they tell you right away whether you were accepted or not, and they send you right to a clinic. So Pfizer vaccine makes women infertile. Stephanie, I have not seen a single report of that. I don't see how that would be.
My forehead.
They like your forehead? Or your
My
forehead
forehead.
popped into the screen. Sound, I guess, is better. How does one sign up for Johnson & Johnson? Johnson & Johnson, you go to this, I went to a website called like Ensemble or something. Let's see if I can find it. I can't. Ensemble Studies, ENSEMBLE. For other studies, you can just go to clinicaltrials.gov. I signed up at 4 different clinicaltrials.gov trials. I didn't get picked for any of them. So you might want to go to Johnson & Johnson, look at their vaccine, or go to the Ensemble. Good, Tom Cigar, good for you. Who said they signed up and not get to be part of it? I said it for, yeah, that's Joe. They figured out wearing a mask outside works, right? Or is California still guessing? California is just strictly guessing. Here's the problem with California. We're in a nasty outbreak. Two very serious problems. One, they have so severely overplayed their hand with the rhetoric up until now that it doesn't seem like anybody's listening to them very seriously. Back in March, when they were literally scaring the shit out of the population with grim and milestones and cataclysmic and terrifying. Now we're 10 times those numbers of cases, and they're using the same language, and no one knows what to make of it. Was it terrifying at 1,000 cases a day or at 10,000 cases a day? And everybody, the other thing is because everybody knows someone who's had it and they all did fine. I mean, very few people are needing hospitalization. Even though we are having a problem with hospitalization, I'm not saying it's not an issue. I'm just saying that the average person knows people had this thing and it was mild and no big deal. So they are less likely to listen to the public health officials who have been the boy who cried wolf for. And now we're using the same language they used when they were 1/10 this particular outbreak, and people don't know what to do with it. So there's that issue. The other issue is they are absolutely arbitrary with their reactions. And when pushed, when the public officials go, "Why are you doing this?" They go, "We have to do something." Now, when they say, I mentioned this, I think on Friday, when the audio was perfect, Tom Cigar is saying,
I fixed it. It was going through the camera.
Oh, don't touch it.
I fixed it.
Sound is much better, but he says.
I got it.
But I think I said this on Friday, which is the whole do no harm thing we learn in medical school is so we refrain from just doing something. When doctors just do something, we more likely hurt somebody than help them. And so public health officials, we have to do something. Do no harm. And the real problem here, a lot of these people are not medically trained, so they don't understand that. They don't do that. So anyway, that's very concerning. The boy who cried wolf and the do no harm, we have to do something. These are things that, and I'm sympathetic to them wanting to do something, right? Because we're having this big outbreak and you want to do something. I get it. How about you encourage people in positive ways to practice their masks and their distancing, and they stay home when they can, and then you just shut up. Otherwise, you stop with the extraordinary rhetoric. Okay. I guess, Paul, you're right. He says there's no such thing as first do no harm in government. Right. Well, they're not trained to do that. Now, Andrew, you were saying something about our hospitals. Wait. stopping elective procedures again. Not to my knowledge. I'm sure they have, because they are having pretty intense flow. But this is what it is when there's a pandemic, right? I mean, this is in pandemics past that I've been involved with, the main issue has been expanding hospital capacity, doing tents, creating more ICU beds. Why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they focused on that? So whatever. Yes, I'm glad I fixed the audio too, Ashley. D. Lily Shaw. You're talking about your reactions to the vaccine. Great. Well, Michael, it's a case-demic. You're right for the most part, but of course, with the case-demic comes the hospital part. That's the problem here, and there are people getting sick. If I get sick as hell needing hospitalization, what's your opinion for taking a new vaccine? I can't wait to get it. So the first one that comes out in this near me, I'm going to take it. Good, Kara. I'm a big believer in the UVC light now. That's something I'm going to do from now on. That's one of the changes that has happened in my life because of COVID. I'm not so worried about surfaces for COVID, but I'm more aware of surfaces these days now than I've ever been. Deaf to comedies, supplement for immunity, zinc. If you had to pick one thing, zinc. The next thing would be vitamin D. The next thing to be something to get the zinc into the cells, like quercetin, and then vitamin C. So maybe 5,000 IU of D, 1,000 of C, 25 of zinc. Careful with going too high on the zinc. And thank you, Joe Giannotti. And Love 3, you keep asking about coconut oil instead of lube. I have no direct knowledge about that. Susan, you know anything about coconut oil? Know anything about coconut oil as a lube? I know people use coconut oil as a mouthwash. So I'm imagining, you. And Chris Jansen, quercetin, I use quercetin, but whether or not it's truly efficacious, we just don't know yet. Thank you, Mary Bennett. I'm glad you listened to me and Adam. Okay, Monica Ricci is making a great point here. I read that hospital ICUs always run at 90% capacity. It's the business model. Is that accurate? And why is the media spreading the ICUs are overcrowded? Okay. So ICUs run like an airline, all right? Think about how a plane works. They try to get the plane as full as possible, and that's how they determine their routes and their staffing. Same thing is true with the ICUs. They typically leave several beds open, but call it 90% full because they staff it to 90% of the, let's say, 15 out of the 20 beds that they have. It's rare that they have to go to all the beds. Now, it's kind of unclear what's going on right now. It looks like that there's some combination of actual beds and staffing problems. I think the main thing is probably staffing. The Baptist, zinc is not a waste of time if you're not taking quercetin. Look at John Campbell's review of zinc. He does a very nice job reviewing all the evidence out there for zinc. Petrox, no, there does not appear to be any added risk to the high-risk group for taking the vaccine. In fact, it seems only benefit at this point. Okay, so what was I talking about? Before I get distracted by you guys. I'm sorry, what was I talking about? Why does Pfizer keep lowering the number of vaccines they will have available for the USA? I'm hearing that may be just rumor. A friend of mine who's a business guy says that is probably not accurate, that they are planning to roll out the original number in the United States. Well, J. Mick, your CRP is 9.4. That suggests some sort of inflammation. So you're probably overweight, or if you're not overweight, you should have, certainly if somebody had 9.4 CRP, I would get a coronary calcium score, particularly if you're a smoker or you're over 35 years of age, because that just suggests there's some inflammation somewhere. And lining of the arteries is a typical place for that. That's interesting. AWC, there's doctors in Houston pushing for ivermectin. Is that a recent thing? I know ivermectin's been discussed for quite some time. I keep it with me in case I get sick. I would probably do that. So you guys, I lost my train of thought. ICU use. Thank you. So the situation right now is they're telling us they only have 10, like in Los Angeles. Once you get below 15% remaining capacity, they ring all the alarms and want to make sure that we're taking more aggressive action to prevent the spread. I don't know why they don't focus more on expanding ICU capacity. I don't understand that. I'm guessing that it's a combination of lack of beds, but more lack of staff. And I mean, why doesn't the state or the regions, the counties, send out a call? I'd go in and I'll do nursing in an ICU for 12 hours if they want me to. Whatever to call, put a call out to volunteers to help them. Why? They did that in New York when they were in the crisis, and they did a really good job of it in New York, and they got through it. So why in Los Angeles we can't do that? I don't understand. Tom Cigars, I don't think federal assistance is coming the way of California. I just don't think so. Okay, any thoughts on the article on locals, Leopold, regarding molnupiravir? Yes, I have an opinion about that. The original study was done in ferrets, and the ferrets do not transmit the virus, and they do not build the virus in a very short period of time. There are at least 2 studies I found going underway with humans, phase 2 and phase 3. So it seems like they are going quickly to roll out this antiviral. It's much like remdesivir, and I think they're randomizing it with remdesivir. Okay, so it's an antiviral like remdesivir. It suppresses the virus. It looks really good. It's an oral pill. We'll have to see. They are seeming to fast track it, and they're calling it. If you hear the term vaccine pill, that's what they're talking about. It's a complete misnomer. But what they mean is once you take it, 24 hours later, you're not infectious anymore. That's what the ferret data suggests. They don't have this on humans yet. Sumaya, I know we missed you guys too. We barely got this one done today. We had technical problems. We couldn't get our internet going and stuff. But we will be back in our usual stride tomorrow. Tom Cigars. I'm okay in the J&J phase 3. Am I going to die? No, you're not going to die. Just kidding. Back to you in the studio. Thank you, Tom Cigar. You said you got a bite, though. I'm wondering what that was. Kara's needing a link to the locals. Joe, maybe, or Casey, maybe you can help her out with that. I had an ANA test, 13.2. Yeah, maybe the next test. I don't know. I did the original because of major joint pain. No one seems to know why. Susan, if you're above the age of 30, the probability of you having lupus is extremely low, unless it's a medication-induced lupus. But you could have a crossover syndrome and some other sort of inflammatory rheumatologic condition, but it's not technically lupus. Lupus is a much more serious thing, and it has in women in their 20s typically. Oh, right. Thank you, Tom Cigar. Right. People throw YMH memes at me all the time, and I'm like, huh, what? Okay. The way we've done the COVID units are depressuring the rooms. We put cameras inside the rooms. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, Don, that makes sense, right? The least amount of time you can spend with a patient is unfortunately the safest thing for the caretakers. Is ivermectin, Dale's asking, that better than hydroxychloroquine? Yeah, it seems to be. Though, again, jury's out on both. Still, there are people that will, Dr. Zelenko still very much defends hydroxychloroquine. I'll tell you, I don't see where it works as a prophylactic agent, the hydroxychloroquine, though he says he takes it. He doesn't wear a mask. And he treats active COVID every day and has not contracted it. So I wonder if he's had his. I want to send him in for an Additic score to get all his immune profiles scored up to see if he's had some previous cross-reactivity with a previous coronavirus or something. Andrew, what flavor ice cream should you get? Where? Where are you? I'm sorry. I see all this ice cream talk going. Morning Ocean video is great. Thank you for that. That was Susan. Yes, you got an Oscar for cinematography from Monica Ricci. It was just me running in the ocean. I didn't do it today, and I don't know why. I was talking to Adam while he did it. I just was not up for it today. I'll get in the pool, which is even colder going forward next few days. Joe? What does that video say? I will eventually watch it, but what does that ivermectin video tell you? Is it a good one or a bad one? Ivermectin is a anti-worm medicine that's been used around the world. I'm sending that link to myself, Joe, just so you know.
Busy.
What's that?
I'm on the. Sorry.
You're just talking out loud? You didn't know you were talking? Did you know there was a
I know. I'm listening to the.
Susan just all of a sudden screamed out, busy. Busy! I'm busy! What?
I want to see something, and we haven't tried this yet.
Okay,
No. I want to know if it's echoey.
Is it echoey now when Susan talks on this side of the mic?
You were busy today. That's why you didn't go on the ocean. You have a life.
Well, I was about to after I ran, but I was too tired. Something's not right now with me. My mood is weird. I have a weird fatigue. Oh, that's interesting. Chris Jensen said 100% of ivermectin studies show efficacy. Very interesting. Why do vaccines have to be frozen? They have to defrost it before they inject it. That's just the way the mRNA is very unstable for some reason. Any cardiac dangers entering cold water due to rapid vasoconstriction? Yes, if you have heart disease, Leopold. If you had heart disease or if you're advanced age, I'd worry about it a little bit. Susan worries about all the time that she's going to find me floating in the pool or something. I was thinking I need to get a wetsuit to be able to go in the water and spend more time eventually. What do I think about the new trend ghosting? Why do people do it and how do you respond? Tiffany, I just call that cowardice. It's just cowardice. People, GSR, is it the weather? No, something made me depressed today. And I think it's the lockdown. We literally went out to restaurants. We went to 3 different restaurants Friday and Saturday night, 3 different both nights, just to give them business. We left big tips for the waiters and waitresses. We left tips for the valets. I mean, these are people's lives that are being upended for Christmas. And the government's beginning to go, oh, it breaks my heart. Why don't they forgo their salary for 3 weeks? That's all they have to do. You guys leave your $800,000 year salary behind for 4 weeks. World Rewind. She wants to donate the vitamins I recommend because you have COVID now. Is that right? I would keep taking them through at least a couple of weeks after you turn positive. No, I see Sumaya. I've seen no data that suggests the vaccines make women infertile. I've not heard that. New unknown illness in India, Dawn. Somebody's asking. SS Betty. No, I've not heard about that. Tell me more. Update on ACE2 inhibitors. Daryl, they're definitely, you do not change them. Definitely do not go off your ARB or your ACE2. And it actually looks like there might be a slight advantage to being on an ACE2 inhibitor. It may downregulate some of your ACE2 receptors in your nose. But there's been a lot of data lately about nasal sprays knocking the virus off. So I have started using Nasacort and saline and stuff to it's kind of looking good to rinse your nose out on a regular basis, particularly if you think you've had exposure. Yeah, Steve, you got to remember his dad was just diagnosed with COVID. 99% of people with COVID don't get seriously, 90% don't get seriously ill overall, or even significantly. 100% agree. Yes, thank you, Melissa. Is the horse pace with, no. Don't take animal ivermectin. You give your dogs ivermectin all the time, but don't take that one. What do I do when you date someone for 3 years and they give you silent treatment with no closure? Tiffany, count your blessings. That means somebody has found somebody else. That's why they're so rapidly out. And they were too big of a coward to tell you how they're really feeling. I'm sorry about that. Leopold, I've heard about erectile dysfunction after COVID. The conversation in the medical literature is essentially that men over 50 have a high incidence of some of that anyway, and after an illness, maybe a little more. So that jury is still out. So did I hear you about the business is suffering? Yeah, the employees, the business owners, it's god awful, and no one seems to be paying attention to it. They're singularly focused on this illness. And again, as I told you, do we have to do something is a horribly destructive attitude to take. There's over 200 hospitals, new unknown illness, bunch of news articles. SS Betty, I will take a look at that. Haven't worked since March, no unemployment, flipping birdies. Dude, I don't know what to say, man. I just think it's just so bad for us all not to be engaged, not to be working, not to have an income source. If I got COVID, Casey Gates asked, would I get the vaccine? Absolutely not. If you get COVID, you are good to go. You're done. Now, maybe in 6 or 12 months, I might get it because there's some question about how long the immunogenicity lasts. Are the ICUs full in California? Elise asks. No, they are not, but they want to make sure they don't get full. That's sort of the issue. Lockdown worked in Europe. Yeah, Scott, that's the question. It's not so much that lockdown worked, is so much as people changing their behavior worked. And when people, here's what they'll point at. They'll go, we locked down, it got better. Well, we don't know if it just was going to get better anyway, or if people are just changing their behavior because they're in the middle of a pandemic. And then they point at opening things up and things coming back. Yeah, that's going to happen every time. See, the scary part about right now, let me just kind of wrap up with this. Scary thing about this present moment is this virus has exponentiality built into it. And we're on this sort of parabolic curve right now where it's kind of looks to be going straight up. And it might continue. It might continue at the same exponential rate and doing that. The only good news is if you look at New York, go to the COVID tracking project and look at New York, you'll see that it's straight up right back where they were in the spring. But the hospitalization is less than a fifth, and the death rate is less than a tenth of when they were in the same outbreak. So there's something different going on, something better going on. The nasal sprays, the betadine nasal spray DJ, the xylitol nasal sprays, the saline nasal sprays, all have shown efficacy. So look at that data online. You'll see there's some interesting stuff going on there. Oh, Flipping Birdie is day trading. Good for you. I'm glad you're doing something productive. I admire that. Grandparents are 94 and 92, both recovered from COVID. Does this mean we can be with them for Christmas? Yeah, Dinah Ice, I think you can be with them if they both recover from COVID. Yes, I'm sure Flipping Birdies knows he has to pay short-term
Not everybody knows that.
capital gains. I'm sure he does.
I'm like, oh, I made $1,000. And I'm like, well, 500 of that goes to the government if it's short term. Whatever your tax bracket is.
Okay. All right. Okay, I hear about the news about Florida requiring the threshold cycles for every test. No, that's interesting. Oreo ice cream. Yes, I get some Oreo ice cream. Why not? I've been off carbohydrates for 3 years, and
Oreo ice
I think if I were to go back, it'd be Oreo or cookies and cream, something
Wait,
like
we're
that.
supposed to go get Oreo ice cream?
No,
Is that what you
Andrew
said?
Oshkazvili is trying to pick a flavor of ice cream. So
Oh, I like it.
okay, you guys, I have to go. You're standing by the light there.
Oh, sorry.
Zinc, vitamin C and D, quercetin, probiotics, always good, DJ, and even some sort of bulk like Metamucil, that kind of thing.
So did Fox just text you?
They did not. However, we've got to get on there right away. So I have to go.
It says 5:35. Yeah.
I know. So I have to switch over to Fox News, and we will do some. Go if you want to watch me there with Alex is out tonight. Marla in there. It's Fox 11 Live. Is that right? Fox LA, Susan?
FoxLA.com.
FoxLA.com. FoxLA.com/live.
And then we have Wednesday. We'll hopefully be back.
We'll be back Tuesday, right?
When are you working tomorrow?
Tomorrow after dark, I'm free the rest of the day, so let's do it tomorrow.
What time is that?
I'll be home by 3:30, 4, so we can do around the same time tomorrow. On the schedule.
Yeah, shit.
What? Everything okay?
I don't know. I didn't have time to really work on this.
Susan's not happy.
Anyways, everybody check out the
Can you hear?
stocking stuffer.
What?
The I Wand.
I want.
At drdrew.com/iwand. It's a
Which
great
hashtag
gift.
sponsored?
It's a really great business gift.
Leopold, you're right. That is the third issue. So the one issue is they've overstated their case. Boy who cried wolf. We don't know whether we're in a lot now or we were in a lot when we were a fifth these cases. They have been violating their own rules, which the hypocrisy people hate that. And they have been just making decisions based on wanting to do something, which is how you hurt people. So I will look into that new virus in India. Thank you for that. And I will switch on over to Fox. We appreciate you guys being here. Natalie Bella, online BetterHelp. I heard some people who I admire, I respect, say BetterHelp that was very useful for them, particularly of cognitive behavioral therapy is where you're going. So BetterHelp seems to have gotten their act together. I don't have a direct relationship. I've read an ad for them somewhere, but I have no experience other than these people that have told me they've used it and had great results. So there you go. We will see you guys tomorrow around the same time, hopefully a little bit earlier. Okay, we'll see you then.